This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, October 11th, 2023. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. The front page is brought to you by American Hartford Gold. Their gold IRA strategy can shield your wealth from an economic meltdown and is both tax and penalty free. Call 866-525-4680 for more or text TWT to 65532. President Biden has denounced the unadulterated evil of Hamas's terrorist attacks on Israel, saying the U.S. will rush ammunition to the Israeli military, bolster defense forces in the region, and beef up security around centers of Jewish life in the United States. In an address from the White House, Dave Boyer reports the president said at least 14 U.S. citizens have been killed in the attacks, and Hamas is holding an unknown number of Americans captive in Gaza. A top Biden advisor said more than 20 Americans are missing, though it's unclear how many are hostages. A bloody and extended ground battle in Gaza appears imminent as Israel is massing its forces near the Palestinian enclave. Ben Wolfgang, Dave Sands, and Mike Len report the civilian and military death tolls from 4 days of fighting have neared 2,000. Israeli officials said more than 1,000 Israelis died and more than 3,400 were wounded in the attack. Nearly 800 Palestinians have died in Gaza, Hamas's stronghold, as Israel carries out an unprecedented counterterrorism mission. Heartbreaking stories of the civilians taken hostage, from innocent young children to the elderly, have put human faces to the staggering violence. Israeli officials said they have identified most of the captives and have started to notify their families. The front page is brought to you by American Hartford Gold. When you look at the news today, all you see is a financial landscape that's growing more and more dangerous, especially for your retirement funds. Stubborn inflation, soaring interest rates, and astronomical debt could drain their value. The good news is that there's a strategy that can protect your financial future. It's the Gold IRA from American Hartford Gold. This Gold IRA strategy can shield your wealth from an economic meltdown and is both tax and penalty free. American Hartford Gold has earned a 5-star rating from thousands of reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Mention the Front Page Podcast and they'll give you up to $5,000 of free silver on your first order. Call 866-525-4680 or text TWT to 65532. That's 866-525-4680 or text TWT to 65532. California's new law protecting in-state doctors and pharmacists who prescribe the abortion pill to out-of-state patients could be upended if the Supreme Court chooses to renew the FDA's approval of mifepristone. Alex Schwaryer reports a ruling striking down the FDA approval or rolling back the Biden administration's moves to make the pill available through the mail would upset a law shielding Californians trying to provide abortions beyond state borders. The Justice Department appealed to the Supreme Court after lower courts restricted the use of mifepristone. The Supreme Court stayed the appellate court order as it mulls the issue, meaning the pill remains available during the appeals process. In Virginia, the first General Assembly election under new state legislative maps is fast approaching. Seth McLaughlin reports it's also the last opportunity Governor Glenn Youngkin will have to usher in a new era of Republican rule in Richmond. All 140 seats in the Virginia legislature are up for grabs on November 7th. Republicans hold a slim majority in the House, and Democrats hold a slim majority in the Senate. And finally, the House Judiciary Committee says less than 1% of illegal immigrants have had court hearings and have been deported during the Biden administration. Stephen Dinan reports the committee says Homeland Security data indicates that migrants are incredibly difficult to dislodge once they move beyond the border. The report also suggests that few of the immigrants are asylum seekers. Those who attempt to use the asylum process are generally ruled to have bogus claims and are ordered deported, which the committee says isn't happening as it should. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.